What's up, people? We are back with more of sickness. I just cut my fingernails and for some fucking reason I forgot to cut one, which makes it look like I have a freaking coke nail or something, you know, that you sniff your coke up with, which I don't do, of course, you know. Don't ask me how I know about it, but yeah, I should really cut this one finger too. Anyway, right. Sickness. We're at the final chapter now, and I skipped a little bit ahead to the point where basically we're making our final somewhat preparations for the other mission. So yeah, let us just continue. But what I am interested in is what you didn't tell me. What I didn't tell him? Hey, I'm not keeping any secrets from you. I really did tell you everything, and I believe you. I'm sure you did tell me everything pertinent to your assignment. What I'm asking about is the fallout you no doubt received from your sister afterwards. Oh, I fucking knew. Karasu knew all along, doesn't he? Is my house bugged? Is he just like sitting outside of a window with binoculars, just peering through the window like, oh, what are they up to, huh? Huh? Oh, Misa is shocked. Ah, god damn you, Karasu. Sir, with all due respect, that's really none of your business. Ha 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 ha. Don't be like that, my boy. Your happiness is absolutely my business. And even if it wasn't, this matter is definitely Misa's business. How come? Misa's business? Of course. Misa was with you that night, wasn't she? Did you tell your sister you were leaving her alone to spend the night with another girl? Aw, are you really going to don't you dare. What? Fuck you, Karasu. No. Crap. Even if Karasu doesn't know what's going on between Sara and I, he obviously knows more than he should. This guy is really too perceptive for his own good. I told her I had to work away from home for the night. Whether I was with a girl or not is irrelevant. Irrelevant? I hardly think so. The two of you have been going out on a daily basis. Spending the night away with your girlfriend is hardly irrelevant. Oh, okay, Karasu doesn't know. He's just thinking, and once again going along with the joke that Misa is my girlfriend. Karasu really is full of it today. He and I practically forced Misa and I together, and then I get teased for spending more time with her than my sister? It's not like I live this way because I want to, and once school holidays begin, the situation will surely be reversed rather. But for now, I'm sure Karasu's only doing this to get a rise out of me anyway. If I lash out now, that just means that he wins. Karasu, you didn't really call us here for this, did you? I have stuff to do and sleep to catch up on. I'm not here to entertain you. No, I suppose you're right. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm using you for my own amusement. That was not my intention. If anything, I was hoping to accomplish the reverse. The reverse? Your comrades have either been killed or betrayed us. Adder is right around the corner, whether you're prepared or not. Your assignments have been put on hold, perhaps indefinitely, in which case your employment for me has almost reached its end. No matter how I look at it, our short time together is almost up. For better or worse, we will soon part ways. So if ever there was a time for me to act like a leader and improve your mood, this is it. That was your goal? I've never felt that Karasu was like, yeah, acting like the leader. I don't know, I just always feel like he's taking the piss out of almost everything. Fortunately, even with the increase in time spent training, I've been able to maintain a decent presence at home. I haven't been at home as much as I'd like, of course, but nonetheless, my time with Sara has been as enjoyable as ever. And with school holidays just around the corner, and not to mention Christmas and New Year's. But if we wait until the sales begin, the stores will all be crowded. Maybe we should start putting things on lay-by. Our time together will soon increase dramatically. Is shopping the only thing you're looking forward to? You can go shopping any time. Surely you have better things to do during your time off. How rude. I'm excited because it's a chance to shop for things I wouldn't normally buy. I'll have you know that I exercise great restraint every day and only shop for essentials like food and clothing. You have 6 pairs of shoes. That's... A little splurging is okay now and then, right? Busted. I guess. But why shoes? Why not something more practical? Yeah, like a swing. If you ask pointless questions like that, you'll never understand how girls think. Shopping isn't about how practical something is. It's about buying things that make you happy. Is that how it works? I had no idea. I'm going to need to open a private bank account, aren't I? Hey, I haven't spent that much money. Besides, you're making plenty, aren't you? And if you won't tell me how you got it, the least you can do is let me spend some of it. Whether it was her intention or not, Sarah's words brought to mind a plan of mine from the past. When Sara found one of my first payments, I thought the best way to stop her accusations was to show her that even blood money had its uses. At the time, I willingly took her shopping, granting Sara as much spending money as she needed. And now that she's come to expect it, however, I realized that being so generous was probably not for the best. Calm down. I'm not cutting you off. No, Sugar Daddy Suoh is still gonna be here. Okay, oh my fucking god, I just made it worse. Like, it's not even brother and sister. Now I'm calling Suoh Sugar Daddy? Oh shit. Oh god. But we should still be more careful with our spending. You never know when the payments might stop. They might stop? What are you talking about? Did something happen at work? I shouldn't have said that. We'll need to talk this over soon enough, given that we'll be moving back into our old home. But right now, I just want to see my sister off in peace. No, it's nothing. Not yet, at least. I'll tell you about it once the change is finalized, alright? No use worrying about something that might not even happen. I guess. Really, it's fine. And it's nothing bad anyway. Just have fun at school. Forget I said anything. Suspicious. After waiting for my sister to leave, I headed to Karasu's underground stadium for another day of tiresome training. Given that I had to wait for Sara, both Sai and Misa were already present and waiting by the time I arrived, ready to begin as soon as I showed up. Hello, Misa. About time you got here. We were about to start without you. As usual, Misa happily greeted me, while Sai admonished me for being late. It can't be helped. You know what my home situation is like. No, they don't know. They really don't know, Suoh. Besides, I've been doing fine so far. It's just more agility training, right? You wish. Today, we'll be shifting our focus to the technical aspects of the break-in, so I need you all at full attention. Go get changed, and meet me back here in 5 minutes. Without waiting for my response, Sai walked off, presumably to begin preparing for our training. Technical aspects, huh? It might be nice to make it home without immediately passing out, but even so, I'm far more adept at physical activity than anything requiring thoughts. Today might just be more exhausting than usual. A few minutes later, as commanded, I returned to the spot Sai had been standing moments ago. Even after I returned, however, Sai was nowhere to be found. Misa, where's Sai? I didn't take that long, did I? The moment I questioned Misa, who appeared to be waiting for me, she turned around and began walking towards Karasu's office. Misa briefly turned her head, gesturing for me to follow after her. This is the point where they see the commercial thingy, right? Well, not commercial, but like the news piece about Adder, and then we move up the date to tonight. I'm pretty sure that's this moment. Indeed it was, so we could just skip right through that. Given the rest of the day off to prepare for an abrupt and unwelcome deadline, I started my free time by heading home. Upon leaving Karasu's lair, my mind was heavy with thoughts of what was about to happen, and my body was filled to the brim with energy. I was both excited and terrified by the sudden change in plans. I couldn't wait until 6 p.m., yet at the same time, everything I knew about the impending break-in frightened me. I knew it was going to be soon, and Sai had mentioned that we'd be moving up the date again, but even so, this is just way too sudden. 2 hours ago, I was putting off telling Sara about our planned future, assuming all the while that I had at least another few weeks before any of it would become relevant. And now, those weeks have become mere hours, and I'll be disappearing before we can even eat dinner. Sara isn't going to like this. Last time I needed to go away overnight for work, Sara wasn't thrilled about me leaving her with nothing more than a note. The least I can do this time is tell her face to face and explain how... Sara? With my mind consumed by thoughts of Sara, the person in question showed up before me. Sitting on our bed, still dressed in her school uniform, Sara was waiting, as though she knew I would be back. I had a feeling you'd be back early today. After the way our conversation this morning ended, I knew I had to come back here. Although a part of me found Sara's concern touching, I couldn't take what I was hearing at face value. My circumstances suddenly change, and Sara just so happens to be at home waiting for me? I'm hallucinating again, aren't I? Unsure of whether Sara really was in front of me or not, I tried my best to proceed like my usual self. Sara, I told you it was nothing to worry about. You can't just skip school because I said something stupid. But I was right. You are here. Something happened after all, didn't it? Damn. Whether she's a hallucination or not, Sara is as perceptive as ever. Like I said before, it's nothing bad. My shift for today has been changed, so I'll be working tonight instead of during the day. Is that really all? Of course. I know we've had some rough patches along the way, but that doesn't mean every little change of plans, there's something to fret over. By this time tomorrow, everything will be back to normal, and you'll have nothing left to worry about. I knew it. Something is about to happen. No, weren't you listening? Stop worrying and... I was listening, and that's exactly why I am worried. You keep telling me not to worry, but you've been acting strange, and I don't just mean today. I thought maybe you were feeling awkward about what we did, what we've been doing. But in the end, it's not about that at all, is it? Something important is going on, and you're trying to shut me out again. I told you before, didn't I? I don't care what you do for a living, or how you make your money. I can't stand being in the dark like this. Sara, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I really think it's for the best. If I told you everything that went on around me, it would just give you more reason to worry. So let me worry. I'm going to worry about you anyway. At least let me know what I'm supposed to be worrying about. Do you really mean that? Of course I do. I've been worrying about you since we were kids. It's already second nature to me. Besides, whether it causes you grief or not, it's only natural to want to know everything about the person you love. So please, tell me what's eating at you. Besides herself, of course. Even if you can't tell anybody else, at least confide in me. Because no matter what you have to say, I promise that I'll be on your side. I see. So that's why you've been acting odd lately. Pretty much, Suoh told her. Was I really acting so different though? I thought I was doing a good job of keeping myself together. To most people, you probably seem no different, but to me, absolutely. I know you better than anyone after all. Even if you think your behavior hasn't changed, I'm the true authority here. Apparently so. After being confronted by Sara's loving approach, and convincing myself that a hallucination wouldn't pressure me about something like that, I eventually caved in. But even if it was a hallucination, it's just you're only telling her something. If it's a hallucination, then it doesn't matter. Then the real Sara doesn't actually know. If it wasn't a hallucination, then, well, you confided in her, which apparently doesn't seem to be that bad of a thing because she's very understanding of it. I told Sara that I had some very dangerous work to do tonight, and that I probably wouldn't be back until morning. I also told her that the work wasn't exactly legal, and that the person I had agreed to help would pull some strings in return, resulting in the acquisition of our old home. I still can't believe it. You're risking your life and your freedom to get our old home back. Though I suppose I shouldn't be surprised by this point. It's been that way since the moment our parents died. You brushed off a severe head wound, fled the hospital, quit school, began working, found us a new home. And now, on top of all of that, you found a way to get our old home back. You're really amazing. You know that? Oh god, more reasons for Sara to love us. Which is not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It depends which side you are on, right? There's no way I could have done any of that. In fact, I don't think there are many people who could. Well, it's not like I had much of a choice. You're wrong. You did have a choice. Any step of the way you could have given up or taken another path. From the beginning, I was prepared to quit school and find a job. I could have thrown away my chance at getting a high school diploma in order to work, so that things would be easier on you. But you stubbornly refused, saying that my future was in academics, and that you should quit instead. Of course I did. What kind of selfish idiot would let their little sister throw her future away? Sadly, more than you'd think. But it wasn't just that. You were in no position to leave the hospital and had no work experience. Yet you went out and found a job in no time at all. Even when you were leaving early in the morning and getting back late at night, you didn't complain. You carried all that weight by yourself, trying your best to look strong. You'd come home with cuts and bruises, then immediately fall on the bed, utterly exhausted by work. And you still pushed on. Sara, that's really nothing special. Lots of people do that. It's a part of working a physically demanding job. I guess so. Look, I appreciate what you're trying to say, but I really don't think I've done anything that great. I've just been going with the flow, and doing what I could to survive. Well, it's been a pretty good flow. There's nothing special about me, and I could have failed any step of the way, just like anybody else. Really, one mistake, and I could have just as easily wound up like Marcus or Vincent. My luck is not something I should be praised for. The fact that you believe that just goes to prove my point. The thought of abandoning me or giving up never even crossed your mind. Working hard to get back what we had just was a natural conclusion for you. That's just who you are. And why I couldn't help but fall in love with you. Sara blushed as she averted her gaze, all the while pouring undeserved praise onto yours truly. Despite feeling unworthy of her kind words, however, I couldn't help but wonder what truth there was to them. And more importantly, whether Sara would still feel the same way if she knew of the horrible things I had done. Right, so he had confessed to her, but only partially, you know. He just basically said what he needed to say without going into any of the details that would make her think of us as a monster, you know. Because it's better to just say, yeah, no, we're doing something that's not legal. It's better to say that than to say like, yeah, we're killing a bunch of people every single time. I'm basically an assassin, you know. Sometimes a white lie like that can be good because, well, to be honest, if she knows we're... Because when we say something like, yeah, we're doing something that's not legal, her mind is probably not gonna go to, it's like, oh, you're killing people. It's gonna be like, wait, maybe he's just, I don't know, selling pot or something, you know? That's much less worse than killing people. Like, there's a big difference between, sure, there are a lot of stuff that is not legal, but there's still a huge disparity and a huge difference between selling pot and killing people. Like, yeah, the other one is not legal, killing people is also not legal, but the punishment for either one of those is still, you know, there's a huge difference, and the severity of it. So, yeah, she's probably gonna think we're, I don't know, we're like a drugs dealer or selling candy to children. Oh, fuck, no, they were like Simon and Martin. Oh, no, we're not like that at all. From Sara's perspective, I may indeed be a kind, hard-working brother who's gone above and beyond his duty. But in reality, I'm just a killer. A criminal who has gone too far to feel any semblance of remorse. Would Sara still praise me like this if she knew the real me? Though to be honest, saying all of that did get me thinking. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for everything you've done, but why did you? Why? Why did you go to such lengths and do all of this on your own? You didn't have to take on everything yourself, or go so far. We could have shared the burden, and you would have lived a much easier life. I could have worked part-time while still studying, so you didn't have to work so hard. You could have given up on our old home and accepted what we have. So what's been driving you? For what reason did you do all of this? That's not a bad question. This is actually a really, really good question. What if the sickness is actually... It actually seems that way, right? That the sickness is actually the driving force behind, like, the motivation of it and stuff? Because before sort of the sickness, you wouldn't think that Suoh would be really fit. Honestly, you wouldn't think that any, high school kid would be suited to a job of being an assassin and all that. But apparently we are, and a large part of it has to be because of the sickness. So I feel like, yeah, that's actually a driving force behind it is the sickness, isn't it? In all honesty, my life hasn't been as difficult or loathsome as Sara seems to think. At first, I did feel bad about what I was doing. I wanted no part in the violence or bloodshed Marcus introduced me to, and sought a peaceful, legal way to make money. But before I knew it, I realized that I had no reason to refuse, and that nothing would change even if I did. If I turned down Marcus's offer, he would simply find someone else. If I turned down Karasu's offer, he too would simply find someone else. If I didn't kill Mr. Durst, Mr. Roth, Miss Mendez, even if I spared every victim of mine, one of my co-workers would have killed them in my place. My role in all of this has been optional from the very beginning, and I was just one of many pawns, easily replaced. Once I realized that, everything became much easier. What I had originally done purely for financial reasons, I gradually started to enjoy. I made money by doing work I no longer felt any regret over. I put my life back together by completing easy yet interesting jobs. I met new people, made powerful allies, worked besides a girl with a life as miserable as mine, and learned all about the darkness beneath the surface of the city. And above all else, I was able to provide for my sister in more ways than one.
Suoh, are you still with me?
Oh, sorry. I got lost in thought for a minute there.
Jeez, it isn't that difficult to answer, is it?
No, I suppose not. There are many reasons why I've been living as I have, but above all else, there's one thing that has kept me going. So I'm sorry if this sounds corny, but the answer to your question is you, Sara.
Me?
I knew it.
I'm the reason why you've been trying so hard?
Yeah, you turned him into a tryhard. You said it yourself, didn't you? I never even thought about asking you to quit school, or about abandoning you. Without our parents, no, even before they died, you've always been the one consistently good thing in my life, and the only person to take my side. You kept me together. You made our new house into a home, and gave me a reason to keep pushing on. Call me a siscon, or a pervert, or an incestuous bastard, but the fact is that I'd do anything for you, Sara. You're the only reason I've made it this far, and I have no doubt that wherever I end up, it will only be because of your support.
Suoh,
you're the reason why I'm able to do my job without regrets. If it's for your sake, I can justify any action I take, no matter how heinous. So if it's in your best interest, then I'm not afraid to fight until the end, no matter what becomes of me.
Suoh, please don't. You said you'd do anything for my sake, right? Then please, whatever it is you have planned for tonight, don't do it.
Sara, it's a little late for that now. After tonight, I won't be doing anything dangerous anymore. We'll have our old house back, and I'll get a proper job. That's what you want, right?
Then, at least promise me that you'll return, and that we'll both live in our old home together, as happily as ever.
Sara,
I don't care what you have to do, or what you've done until now. I just want you to come home to me like you always do, safe and sound.
Sara continued to stare at me with teary eyes, her voice cracked and barely discernible. Despite her soft expression, I could feel the urgency and desperation in her voice, as though she knew exactly what kind of danger I was about to face. Sara really must be able to read me if she's getting this worked up. My job is dangerous, tonight more so than ever, and there's every possibility that I won't make it back, at least not with my vital organs all intact. But if Sara is the one asking this of me, then alright, I promise. Even if I have to crawl home on my hands and knees, I will return to you, once and for all. Oh my god, that was so touching. Besides the fact that they're brother and sister. Alright, Intermission begins. Not sure how much of it we can skip through, but let us find out. Alright, a lot of that intermission was skippable, but this is the point where he's fighting against Leon. Come on, hurry up and say yes already. We're both on the clock here. He's right. This is no time to be hesitating. I'm already running late. Misa and Sai will be along any second now. I need to get out of here and return to Sara. Momentarily blinded by greed, my heart skipped a beat as I remembered why I had come to Adler in the first place. It wasn't to make millions of dollars, nor was it out of some noble sense of loyalty towards Karasu. I did it for my old home, or more precisely, the girl who would be waiting for me there. I have to admit, Leon, that's a pretty impressive offer. Alright, he offered us to sort of, double-cross Karasu and join Leon instead. And saying that he would offer us more money, which is obviously bullshit, but yeah. I'd have to be an idiot to decline. Fortunately for both of us, there's only one member of the family gifted with beauty and intelligence. And that's Sara, right? And it sure as hell isn't me! I lunged forward and then we fired and then we skip. Holy shit! Alright, we gotta save Misa. We skipped through a large part of this already and you guys know what happened here, so yeah, it shouldn't really matter too much. This is my last day on the job, for Christ's sake! I'm not going to lose you now! The faces of Marcus and Victor both came to mind, as I dared to think that I might lose Misa too. In a job filled with so much death, any one of us could be next, and Misa was no exception. But unlike the others, Misa and I were close. We worked together daily, spent most of our time together, and actually enjoyed one another's company. So even if we weren't as close as we could have been, I still wasn't prepared to let her die. Damn it, Misa! You can't leave me alone now! If you really are my partner, then open your eyes already! Yes, she is our partner in crime, of course. Misa? Through tear-filled eyes, I at last saw Misa wake up. Though groggy and disoriented from the lack of oxygen, and not to mention her near loss of life, Misa slowly but surely opened her eyes. Her chest began to rise and fall, and color gradually returned to her face. Weak breaths escaped her lips, fulfilling the role I had until moments ago. It was a close call, but there could be no doubt. Misa pulled through. Oh jeez, don't scare me like that. As soon as Misa opened her eyes, all of the tension left my body. I completely forgot about the time limit, which we had already passed, and the two interlopers who got us into such a position. All I could see was the precious face of the girl I had managed to save. Okay, you're talking about her a bit. I mean, this is the exact same text as it was in the Misa route, but it's kind of weird that he says precious face of Misa, considering, yeah, they are close. For co-workers, they are pretty close, but not like on a friendship level, I feel, especially considering, Suoh's doing his sister, so yeah. Misa, don't you dare scare me like that again. Even if you were to die, then Oh god, this happens too? Oh my god, we get stabbed here too, for fuck's sake. Huh? Following the path of Misa's shocked eyes, I set my sights on my own torso. Sticking out of my chest was the tip of a blade, which had quickly and effortlessly pierced my sternum. Is that... Phew. Gotta hand it to you, kid. I didn't think you'd actually manage to save her life. It's a good thing I decided to stick around and finish the job, just in case you actually succeeded. From behind me, I could hear the voice of Cain, who continued to drive the blade further into my torso as he spoke. Removed from Leon's corpse, Misa's blade was inching its way through my body, spilling my blood onto Misa and the floor below us. Drops of blood dribbled from my mouth as I tried to catch my breath. Every movement of my chest brought with it pain, and I could clearly feel my own life slipping away. Sighed to the frickin' rescue. As my body slowly fell to the floor, so did that of my killer. A single gunshot echoed out. As I looked behind me, I could see Sai standing over Kane's corpse. You're a bit late, Sai. Would it have killed you to get here 30 seconds sooner? Because, I'm not really enjoying the alternative. Watching my own blood pour from my chest, I calmly analyzed the situation. I had been stabbed in the back by Kane, possibly dealt a fatal blow, and been left to bleed to death in a location in which I had no chance of receiving medical attention. I was under no illusion as to what would happen next. So this is it, huh? Even though I knew from the beginning that death was a distinct possibility, that doesn't make it any easier to swallow. No matter how often I thought my own actions would get me killed, there was still a piece of me which naively believed that I'd be okay, that I alone would survive. But obviously, I was wrong. Things were going so well. I hadn't encountered or needed to kill a single person. I was able to grab ample data. I was prepared to escape at a moment's notice. Then those two idiots showed up, and everything fell to pieces. Oh well. It's not as though this was ever going to end happily. A remorseless killer like me, being granted a happy ending? I may have a tendency to hallucinate, but even I'm not that delusional. While my current circumstances aren't ideal, the truth is, I deserve far worse. Besides, this isn't so bad. I managed to save Misa. Kane and Leon are both dead, and one side delivers my final gift to Karasu. Sara will have our old home back. Even without me in the picture, life will go on. And Sara will finally be...
Promise me that you'll return, and that we'll both live in our old home together, as happily as ever.
Sara! Filled with adrenaline the moment I remembered our promise, I placed both of my palms on the floor, pushing up with all of my strength. I watched blood drip from my mouth and torso as I struggled to rise, fighting the immense pain as I used every ounce of energy I had left to pick myself back up. Damn it, Sara! How could you make me promise something so unreasonable? Haven't I done enough already? Don't I deserve to rest for once? I managed to balance on one foot while my other knee rested on the ground. While applying pressure to my wound, I lifted my knee off the ground, then quickly buckled both my legs as I tried to stand. Suoh, smirking as blood dribbled down my chin, I straightened my legs. Within moments, I was standing, facing my comrades as I desperately clung to life. What are you staring at? We don't have time to dawdle, right? Despite the fact that I could barely breathe, I managed to squeeze out 2 sentences before I felt my strength begin to leave me once more. No matter how strong my will to live proved to be, I was still severely injured and would likely bleed out before long. Ha! You're more stubborn than I thought. But you don't have the strength to get out of here by yourself. And you won't stand a chance of surviving if you don't focus on applying pressure to that wound. I looked down at my bloody hand, still tightly clutching the hole in my stomach. So give up already, kid. This matter is already out of your hands. What? Sai's not even willing to help us? Just go to sleep. After all you've been through, you deserve to rest. Are you fucking shitting me? He didn't even... Nah, hell no. There's gotta be a part after this again, right? Where we hopefully get a happy ending. I don't want to believe that... I mean, okay, I understand Sai perhaps not liking us that much, but... to say like, yeah, whatever, you're gonna die, we can't do anything, so just lie on the ground, close your eyes and die already. Like, oh my god, that's a much crueler version of what he said, but that's basically still what he said though, right? Oh my god. Well, let's see what's gonna happen after this. I don't believe that's the end. He doesn't die, just like the last time, right? For some freaking miracle, Jesus intervention, whatever, he manages to survive and end up in the hospital. It's gotta be something like that. The next day, Wednesday morning, December 7th. As I slowly opened my eyes, I awoke to an unbelievable sensation. My vision was filled with the sight of a pale ceiling and fluorescent lights. And beneath my head, I could feel a soft yet solid object elevating my skull. My torso rested on something similar, albeit flat, and my fingers traced along a familiar surface. It was warm, comfortable, and provided me with a sense of ease I never thought I'd feel again. Am I in a hospital? I weakly moved my neck, eyeing the right side of the room. Although I saw nothing to support my guess, I was already certain that I was correct. Huh. Unbelievable. I never thought I'd be relieved to wake up in a hospital, but here I am. My memories after getting stabbed were hazy at best. I remember trying to get up, holding onto my wound, and getting reprimanded by Sai for my effort. But as Sai walked towards me, my consciousness began to fade, and with it, I lost all memory of what happened next. Did Sai and Misa carry me out? I did save Misa moments prior, so I suppose it's not out of the question that they would feel compelled to return the favor. I returned my head to its original position and closed my eyes, already tired of trying to piece together fragments of my memory. It doesn't really matter how I got here. The important thing is that we all survived, and with Adder now behind us, my habit of flirting with death can finally come to an end. Suoh? Prompted by a barely audible whimper, I turned my head once more, this time to the left, and what awaited me... oh god... was the sight I never thought I'd ever see again. Sara? Suoh, you really are awake. Laying right next to me was Sara, trying her best to smile as she fought back tears. The doctor said you wouldn't wake up for at least a few days, but I knew you wouldn't leave me alone for that long. The second I was told where to find you, I rushed over and haven't left your sight since. Doctors, so I really am in a hospital. But how did they contact Sara? I had no ID with me, And even if I did, they shouldn't know where I live, or what my temporary phone number is. Is this Karasu's doing?
You know, you really had me worried for a while there. When I arrived, you were in the intensive care unit, receiving emergency surgery. All of the doctors and nurses told me to prepare for the worst. But as I screamed your name from the hallway, their faces all stiffened, and suddenly their expectations had changed. Against all odds, you came back from the brink of death. Your breathing stabilized. Your heartbeat became regular. In a matter of seconds, you went from fighting for your life to sleeping soundly. Yet again, you pulled off a miracle and went above and beyond what anyone expected of you.
I listened to Sara in silence as she happily recounted her version of my road to recovery. After listening to her, I still had many questions. I had just woken up in a random hospital after all, and had very little information available to me. But I suspected that only my former boss and co-workers could answer my main questions. And if what Karasu told me was true, I'd likely never see them again. Even so, there was one question I had for Sara. Sara, how did you find me?
I'm not sure what you want to hear exactly, but last night I received a phone call. The person didn't leave his name. He just told me where to find you, and that the keys to our old home would be waiting for us when we returned.
Oh, it was Karasu. See, Karasu is not a bad guy after all.
Our old home, just like you said.
So it was Karasu after all. He may be utterly loony, but Karasu is a man of his word, and he has never let me down. If this is his way of saying goodbye, then I really will miss having such a fantastic boss. It's so funny, right? Saying he's a fantastic boss despite the things that they're doing, but yeah, he actually is a really freaking good boss.
But enough about that. As relieved as I am that you're awake and talking, you need to rest. It's still going to be a while before you recover, and I don't think the doctors will let you leave anytime soon. Just take it easy. Sleep until you're as strong as ever, because once you've recovered and you're ready to come home, I'll be waiting.
Oh, Sara. Oh my god, that is the end of the Sara route. Holy shit. Like, yeah, it's incredibly fucking weird that they are in love because they're brother and sister, right? But if you take that out of the equation, it is an incredible love story, right? And just the determination that you saw from Suoh when he was like on the brink of death and just suddenly remembered the promise that he made to Sara. And he actually just, because in comparison to the other one, in the Misa ending, like he actually, in that point where he was about to die, after he got stabbed, he didn't have that same determination of like wanting to stand up and like mustering every ounce of his power, his strength to get out of there and to keep his promise. Like he didn't have that on the Mesa route, but here he did. So it's almost like, it makes sense, right? Because he has known Sara longer, of course. So their relationship is probably a lot closer as well to with Misa than with Misa. So it makes sense that if he's together with Sara, that relationship at that moment in time means more to him than the Misa relationship. But still, it just shows the determination that they both have for each other, and they genuinely do love each other, right? Besides the fact that it's weird incest and all that weird bullshit, they do genuinely love each other, and it is, strange enough, still a beautiful thing, right? Because love knows no boundaries, apparently. I guess that is actually like the message of this entire route. Love knows no boundaries. Oh my freaking god. Well, this is the end of the second route. I don't know what you guys thought of it, but it was a pretty good love story, and I definitely enjoyed this route as well. But in the next one, we're going to be doing the third route, which is sort of a route in between where you don't pick any of the the girl route, so you don't go on the Misa route, you don't go on the Sara route, so it's kind of a route in between those two, and I'm not sure how it's gonna end. For some reason I have a feeling that it's not gonna end too well, but I don't freaking know exactly how it's gonna work out, and I don't know how long the video is going to be, considering that the gallery is like, it's pretty much already freaking full. Like, there's only one picture at the end there, and the rest, everything has pretty much been uncovered, so there isn't too much that we can discover more, so I'm not sure how long the third playthrough is going to be. But yeah, we'll see in the next video once we start that particular route. This is the end of the Sara playthrough, so I hope you had fun watching this. I want to thank you all so very much for watching. So please like and subscribe for more as well, and I'll just see you in the next video, I guess. Peace.